is reflected light. I don't know if you remember. All right. The Quran mentioned the light of the moon is reflected light 1400 years ago. And today, when I open my computer, YouTube Yuka suggest to me to watch Zakir Naik. So I said to myself, what is that? And I found this. It says, now is Allah the Noor of the universe, of the heaven and the earth. So Zakir Naik in the previous video, he said the word Noor means reflected light, borrowed light. What Zakir Naik will say about this one? Let us see first, to refresh your memory, about what Zakir Naik he says in the previous video.
Previously, the scientists, they thought that the light of the moon was its own light. But Quran says in Surah Furqan, chapter number 25, verse number 61, blessed is he, that is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, who has made the constellations in the sky and placed therein sun, that is a lamp, having its own light, and moon, having borrowed light. The Arabic word used for the sun in the Quran, it is Shams. And its light is always described as Siraj, Wahaj, or Diya, which means a torch having a light of its own, or a blazing lamp, or a shining glory. Always the light of the sun is described as Wahaj.
By the way, none of those words saying or mean that it has its own light. That's false. None. It's just describing how strong the lighting is. Anyway, the guy don't even speak Arabic, but he want to teach people what the word mean. But anyway, continue.
Siraj or Diya, meaning a light of its own. The Arabic word for moon is Qamar. And its light is described as Munir or Noor, meaning borrowed light or a reflected light. There is not a single place in the Quran where the light of the moon is described as its own light. And the Arabic word for star is Najm, and its light is described as Saqib, meaning the light, by the time it reaches the earth, it loses its brightness, like a piercing brightness. Bright light, by the time it reaches, it consumes itself. And this message, that the sun has its own light, describing as Wahaj, Siraj, or Diya, and the moon having borrowed light, that is Munir, or reflection of Noor, is mentioned in several places in the Quran, including Surah Yunus, chapter number 10, verse number 5, as well as Surah Nuh, chapter number 71, verse number 15 and 16.
So now it's confirmed that the word Noor mean reflected light. Be my witness, Muslims. This is the same potato. He make a video, and look at the title. Now is Allah the Noor of the heaven and the earth?
My questions with Dr. Zakir Naik. You said that.
I mean, can you believe the stupidity level? How you just said that the word Noor is a reflected light, and now you are making a video saying Allah is the Noor of the heaven and the earth. How he can be the Noor of the heaven and the earth if the word Noor mean reflected light and mean borrow light? So Allah himself, he borrow light, therefore he cannot be the light. Tell us how Allah is the Noor.
Allah reflects light, and he's made a Noor.
A little kid got him busted. Is Allah is a reflected light? He is a Noor. Hey kid, who sent you?
I didn't really understand that.
The brother posed the question, he didn't understand my explanation.
What the heck? I mean, you explained it very well, but you forgot he did that in the previous video. He made it so clear that the word Noor all over the Quran come as a borrowed light. And now the kid, he is maybe 7, 8 years old, saying to him, is Allah reflected light? His brother, what?
Noor, and he's made a Noor. I didn't really understand. Allah reflects light, and he's made a Noor. I didn't really understand that.
The brother posed the question, he didn't understand my explanation.
Please repeat.
Through the counter-argument of Dr. William Campbell regarding Noor and Allah. The Quran says in Surah Noor, chapter 24, verse number 35, that Allah is Noor samawati wal ard, is the light of the heavens and the earth. He is a light. The meaning of light in the Quran, it is reflected light or borrowed light. So he's asking, does it mean that even Allah has got borrowed light? So the answer is giving further. If you read in the verse, it says that it's like a parable of a niche. In the niche, there is a lamp.
Hold on. How it's a parable of a niche, you stupid? If you said he is Noor, you see how they lie. Look, just to show you, you know, I mean, the low class, the trashy. He tried to save his ass from the embarrassment. Read with me. He didn't say the parable come after. And you find in the Quran all over. Chapter 5 verse 15, chapter 9 verse number 32, chapter 24 verse number 35. And this is the one he is quoting. But all over it says he is Noor. The parable come after. He said he is the light, he is the Noor of the heaven and the earth. And the parable, the example of his light is the following. So either you have to admit that you're a donkey when you say the word Noor mean reflected light, trying to make out of a mistake in the Quran as a miracle 1400 years ago, or the word Noor, as you said, it means reflected light, and Allah is reflected light. And if we read after, you will see it says Allah is the Noor of the heaven and earth. And then it says the parable of his Noor is the following. But you will notice even that is not his light, because here we have a lamp, we have a fuel, we have etc. So this cannot be your light. You see, if I have a lamp, that lamp is not the light of the lamp. No, it's not. It's what is burning in the lamp if we are using oil. If we are using electricity, this is the light of the resistance of the electricity. This is not the lamp itself giving light. Otherwise, without electricity, this lamp can give nothing. And the electricity have to have a generator to make the current run. And then we have a kind of a resistance. We use some material which is, when high resistance go through it, that cause a shiny light. So in either way, the Noor he used, and he confirmed in the previous video that the word Noor appear all over the Quran. All over the Quran. And always come as a word mean borrow light. Now when a little kid, he is 8 years old, he said to him, I don't understand how you say that Noor is a borrowed light, yet Allah himself is a Noor. You see, he is not saying his Noor is likeness, he said he is Noor. And that is all over the Quran. As you see, I'm showing you tons of verses. You see, not only here. Chapter 6:18. They want to distinguish the Noor of Allah. They want to distinguish the Noor of Allah. The word here is Noor. And the funny here, you will see in the translation saying, by blowing with their mouths. Do you see it? So the Noor of Allah is not even a Noor. It's just a fire. And this is why in the previous verse, Allah himself supposedly explained to us his Noor, that it is a burning light in a niche. No fire is touching it, for it is the fire by itself. Which means you do not need to light it up. It is lighted up already. So he made a stupid mistake, and now he is trying to cover it up. And this is why we are laughing.